Hello again, music fans. I am back here for another video. This time a response video for Darcy 6 Strings 9 Lives, where he asked the question, what are your 6 favorite Eddies? Eddie being the mascot of Iron Maiden. Alright, I thought it was very interesting, because I've always liked the visual style of Eddie, as well as, of course, the Maiden album covers, which are fantastic. Let's go from the past to the present here. And even though I really like the Eddies right there from Iron Maiden, self-titled, Killers, and Number of the Beast especially, I was almost going to put it in this list. But I believe here in Live After Death, this is probably my favorite Iron Maiden illustration. Eddie himself looks great. I'm not just talking about Eddie himself. Just the overall, just the colors right there, where it's a nighttime shot. This is in the nighttime, but there's also the bright lights coming from the bottom. Excuse me. All right. Plus the H.P. Lovecraft quote right here on the gravestone. I always thought that combination was really cool. And also noticing how he has the shackles here, which came from the previous album, which was Power Slave. So he somehow Eddie would carry over some elements from previous incarnations. All right, so Live After Death Eddie. After that, we go with, before that, we had, of course, Trooper Eddie, which came from the Peace of Mind album. All right, of course, this has probably become the most iconic image of Eddie, not only because the Trooper itself is one of the most famous songs, but the illustration itself is also really cool. All right, looks really nice there on the bottle. Let's go with the next one, which is Seventh Son of a Seventh Son Eddie, right here. This was a departure because we don't have the full image, the full body of Eddie. Right there, he is missing his lower half, but somehow floating. I always found this cover very enigmatic. Right there, Eddie here retains some flesh also. Being a bit also cybernetic right there. And like I said, carrying over elements from previous Eddies, because in the previous incarnation, which was in Somewhere in Time, I believe, yes, Somewhere in Time, Eddie had more flesh on his bones right there, and he had that like bionic eye also. Also of note is that on the back cover we also allude to previous Eddies. Here we have the Eddie from Power Slave, the one from Peace of Mind right there in the straitjacket, and of course in the background the one from Number of the Beast. All right, so Seventh Son of a Seventh Son Eddie. After that, we go with this one, which is from a real live one. Now, I believe Darcy showed the real dead one, where we had DJ Eddie. This one here, he is grabbing a live wire right there with his hands, and it also appears that he has no clothes on. So this may be the only nude Eddie right there. I really like the color play, between very bright and the shadows. Right. The reason I'm mentioning this because I draw myself. I like to dabble a bit in drawing, and whenever I see those details, really cool drawings, that I really like. Okay, so live wire Eddie from a real live one. Now the next one, I do not have the actual illustration of it, physically. So I'm gonna put it over here somewhere. But it is from this album, which is A Matter of Life and Death, a really good album. And it is from the reincarnation of Benjamin Brieg Eddie. Now that Eddie, he appears right there again in a graveyard with a pickaxe, apparently either going to dig up a grave or something like that. But the reason, I think that the illustration I always found it very moody. And if you recall, around the time when this album came out, there was a story going around online regarding Benjamin Breek. You know, the whole urban legend of him being a painter who did these really strange and disturbing paintings, and that was somehow related with the song and everything. But anyway, that story. I mean, this illustration, which I'm going to put right here, I always found it really cool. All right, and then we have a Book of Souls Eddie, you know, which comes from here from the Book of Souls. All right, and I always thought that this design was very original, because you would say, well, where can you go with Eddie? You know, I think everything's been done, but having him be like a Mesoamerican god or something, you know, or a creature, was really original. All right, I really like how it looks. Right there, the illustration is fantastic. Right here in one of the inner illustrations looks even better. All right, there with the heart. That would look really cool on a t-shirt or something. Love that illustration. Let's see if we have anything more in here. Well, the one for the centerfold. Okay, so Book of Souls Eddie, I really liked. And I believe that makes 6 of them. And I'm going to show my own Eddie. Like I said, I dabbled in drawing a bit. And here's my own Eddie drawing right there. I'm doing a more classic Eddie right there from the early period. All right. Did that with a brush pen. Very well, Darcy. There you go. The 6 of my favorite Eddies. Really good idea for that thread. Thank you very much for watching, and so long.